Hi, welcome to Turn Right Machine Works. My name is Keith. Today we have a real oldie here. Some of this looks like it was broke, and some old timers came in and remade some parts. It might have been lost or missing, but this thing is put together, and this is one of our local fence companies here on the Cape. And this is the two main spindles for a giant wood chop saw. The blade that mounts on here, I didn't really put a tape measure on it. I swear it's 32-inch diameter. And this is has an electric motor. It mounts down behind here, comes up, drives this. This pulley here then transfers up to this one, mounted on a bridge that these two sections here bridge off together. And they have a belt and the saw blades on there. There's a giant ring in there, and you grab it and you pull it like this. Just kind of giving you a little motion there. So that's what this motion is right here. Now, the thing is we have a little play in here. They call me down there and they go, "Hey, we got a little noise coming from this thing." You think? Okay, and you know, you got the same kind of motion and everything else in here. This one's really extreme, and so we're getting ready to tear this thing apart, but I wanted to show you before we actually got it apart. And they build the table, and they build all the protection so that nobody gets hurt. In doing that, they cover up important things like zerks, grease fittings, things that do need to be, that is the lubrication. And this thing's in sawdust all day long. Don't take you long to soak up enough stuff to take away the oils, and essentially you start running them dry, and when heat is created, it melts Babbitt. You know, I could go on for a little while. Let's just say neglect or abuse of non-maintenance. And so I'm getting ready to tear this thing apart. Alright, see that's not hard grease. That's Babbitt being squeezed out of there. Same thing in here. Alright, that's Babbitt. The shell is loose from the housing, so once I get this out of here, we're probably going to have to be clearing that out. This is going to be a different style of pour. Going to be quite interesting. That's cool, huh? Okay, here's something unusual, okay? Now, this is supposed to be cylindrical, and this is supposed to be in here. But watch when I rotate this thing, okay? Does that pulley not come up and down? Huh? Something's not quite right there. Yeah, we got a cam action in there, and I don't think there is any cam in there. Okay, these pulleys are all taper locks. A very simple arrangement and a good secure arrangement for locking pulleys on. And we've pulled out the they have 3 tensioning bolts. We pulled those out. We actually the first thing you usually do, because they haven't been taken apart for a while, is we ran the taps through our threaded draw holes that push the thing apart. They got 3 holes that draw it together, 3 holes that push it apart. And we put the 3 bolts in there, and we've already got it broke loose. But we're not getting any action, so she's tight on there. Probably a little bit of rust. So then we took a wire wheel, we went around here, and we saw that there is some flaring going on, and we've worked our way around here. But I wanted to show you, and actually I found out that I can tell by the file that this is some leaded stock. It files real easy, real nice, real smooth. And when you draw across there and you're touching over there and you can see the line right here, you're hitting hard. You know, I can eyeball those hammer marks right along this outside edge. when you hit it here, it swells out here. You defeat the purpose of even giving it a hit. You know, go out and chop a cord of wood or something like that if you got some anger issues there. They do not help you on dismantling. So right now, just working my way around, and you gotta draw file it. Just lucky it's nice and lit, but see that now that gap's closing in there, I know that I got the high off out here. Alright, so I'm just working my way around before I even go get my puller. That's why I pulled those bolts back out. I'm gonna put the pushers back in after I get this all clean. I wanted them out of the way for filing. Your file only cuts in one direction. You start pulling backwards on your file, and you're gonna roll the cutting edge over and dull your file faster. So that was a good mushroom right there. Now, sometimes you do need a small puller. I just popped this off of this end here. Alright, you're looking at what I'm looking at for the first time. Okay, this is how the shaft was riding in there. Could have been some of the noise. Alright, and we were wondering where the crank, the cam, what's going on in there. We'll be checking it out. Alright, we got this off here, and this is just the back side. It's pretty dirty and filthy. We're not going to know nothing until we get that scraped and kind of cleaned up. Now, the other side, this was the carrier for the pivot. Okay, and this was the thrust that actually made it against here. Kind of kept it from traveling. That's quite a bit of wear on there. So we're going to probably have replace that collar, and we'll continue pulling this apart. This carrier right here should just be able to come off of here. I'll have to get that key off of there first. Been hammered on this side here. This is getting pretty good. Okay, you can see how far off that is worn. Okay, and of course this goes on in this direction. Sets in here like this. So of course it's worn off there, but it's also worn off here. And when we get in here and we start cleaning and wiping this, okay, there's the Babbitt bearing right there. Okay, this went past the bearing and the housing and everything else. This is going to be extremely a sad case here. We're going to have to be doing some reconstructive whatever here, but you know, this is as found. This is pretty cool. Luckily I have a nice square drive socket here, but these are old square heads bolts holding these center pulleys on. It's old school. We wiped down this shaft here, and this is the worst side. I mean, we got wear over in here. That's barely in the Babbitt line right here. Now this here is completely worn through the Babbitt and halfway through the cast housing. This piece is cast, and the other foot over here, this is some nickel rod. It was repaired over here, so that's why I saw the weld bead and I thought it was a weldment. Here you can also see somebody's done a nickel rod repair. Put a whole support in there. Alright, we're going to be doing some work, but we'll probably put some braze on here instead of the nickel rod. And this is Babbitt bores on here. I got to really get this thing cleaned up and take the torch, melt out the Babbitt, find out what kind of cavities in there, see what I'm going to want to do as far as replacing any material. Now you see that this shaft right here, it's shot. It needs to be replaced, but it's kind of minimum wear for how much this is worn out. And the reason is cast iron is a pretty good bearing material against steel. Steel and cast iron together as a rotating unit. There are some bearings that are cast iron bearings for different applications. Of course, this had extreme pressure and wear, you know, but you know, that is one heck of a lot of wear right there. Hey, my saw is making some noise. My saw is making noise. Okay, now this is the actual saw arbor, or the spindle the saw blade actually runs on. These are the two plates that sandwich the saw. You know, they're not bad shape. Okay, that one's on there solid. Probably has a cross pin, something like that. All right, so we're gonna have to undo the other side. Now we're going to take the wire wheel and clean that up. It doesn't look like it's going to come out of there easy. Okay, I went ahead and I got the center section out of here. Same thing, a lot of keyways, they tapered them and so they can hammer them, drive them in. I don't know what these people are thinking about. And yeah, this I'll have to figure out how this saw blade comes on here. But you know, here is your wear on the spindle part. Okay, now I didn't even wipe some of this grease off of here yet. There again, it doesn't look like much of a diameter loss or waste there. Alright, we wiped this clean and we can see that the Babbitt is worn through on the saw spindle shaft here as well. So there's quite a bit of wear there. You know, you almost think that maintenance abuse like this should be punishable by law. You know, I mean, to have a little bit of wear on a bearing and replace it or whatever, you know, that's minor. But to wear through old housings and you know, this is because it's run by people that aren't shop smart. Like you heard the terminology, street smart. Being shop smart is, you know, they built this saw. I mean, the saw was built. Okay, they installed this saw, which is a suicide cutoff saw. So they got shop, they got employees and everything else, and they got to cover it up and make it all OSHA approved and everything else. Well, they put it in a box, and what happens? All you have is a handle, and you pull it and you use it. You push the button, you use it. You push the button, you use it. Okay, these 4 Zerk fittings here are inside that box and never used. So, you know, actually, I saw it a few years back. I'm surprised I didn't see it a little sooner. This repair will be coming up soon. Catch you later.